Hey, Soraya, how's it going?
Hey, Jeff, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well, pretty well. I got my bathrobe on because I think it's late for the people that we're talking to this morning, although it's just after dinner, around dinner time for us. So
You wanted to be loungy?
I wanted to be loungy. Yes, indeed, indeed. So today should be a fun show. I know Ronnie's really excited. He's going to be joining us today.
Yes, our guest host with the most, Ronnie Barnett.
Yes.
But Jeff, today I'm very excited because this is a band that I hold very, very close to my heart. And my big brother, who is my musical guru,
Yes.
this was a band that he really enjoyed too. So uh Jeff, why don't you tell our listeners who is joining us today?
Yes. So today we have Beth Kaplan and Judy Grunwald from Salem 66. This is their first EP
Oh,
when they got
wow.
started. Salem 66, as we all know, were a band that were primarily the whole decade of the 80s, from beginning to end, pretty much out of Boston.
Yeah.
Put out four records, an EP, couple singles. But the reason why we're having them on the show is because they have something new coming out, right?
They do. There is a compilation about to come out on Don Giovanni Records. So yeah, and their albums are available for streaming. So Salem 66 has come in with gusto, fire, and all guns a-blazing, which is awesome.
Yes.
To share not only old but also new music. And we can't wait to sit down and have a conversation and find out how we got here because we're all in. We're ready for this.
We
So,
are ready.
oh boy, I say let's get started.
Let's do it.
Boom.
Hi, this is Soraya.
And this is Jeff,
Our podcast is called Paisley Stage Raspberry and Rhyme.
a podcast where the two of us play music that we like and share anecdotes and background about the tunes.
We hope you'll join our conversation. And without further ado, a grooviar.
Let's get groovy.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
Perfect. So, Jeff, why don't you let our listeners know who has joined us today?
Yes, of course, Raya. We're very excited. And I'm not trying to be Hugh Hefner here. I thought we were gonna do like a pajama party or a robe party because you guys were late. But I
Oh,
actually
that is a bathrobe.
it is a bathroom. Yes.
Oh, and we're later than you.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
We're the late ones.
but I'm the only one with the gray hair, so I'm the one that's ready for bed already. But even though I'm
But you
three
have
hours,
a hat on, so you're also ready to go outside.
yes.
Okay.
Well, Soraya, we're very, very excited because we have Beth Kaplan and we have Judy Grunwald here today as we discuss from this band, their first EP right here, Salem 66. And we welcome you both here. We're expecting our co-host Ronnie here shortly, but thank you both for taking some time to chat with us. And there's a reason why we're
Thank you.
chatting today. And
Abs.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
Well, I was going to say that's because we're expecting a new compilation called Salt. I have questions about the name from Salem 66 that has 10 songs on it, um, which is um, different songs from throughout your catalog. Um, and we're very curious about this release, why it's happening now. Wait, there's an actual copy.
Yes.
Yeah, I know it's not fair. Judy, did you get yours yet?
Uh-oh.
I just got them today. Woohoo!
See, right on time.
I
And
got them today
It's not
too,
fair to the listener.
oh,
It's a gatefold.
But the
oh,
yeah.
best
Yes.
part,
Oh,
look at
gorgeous.
that
Ooh.
beautiful vinyl. Oh my.
It's such a beautiful color.
and you need
And
a magnifying glass to read the liner notes.
and for our listeners who haven't logged on to our video, they're holding up a beautiful, beautiful sky blue vinyl copy of the compilation Salt. And just to bring everyone up to speed, this is an album that was an album that is happily awaited for by fans, and we just can't wait to dig into it. You know, the band. Uh, let's just backtrack for a second, Jeff. Self-titled EP, four albums, two singles, and now we get some more on Don Giovanni Records, releasing on vinyl, CD, and yes, available on various streaming services. We have this compilation Salt, and so we want to jump into it. We have a lot of questions to ask about it, and about how we got here. So, Jeff, I'll give you the first question, and then I'll jump in.
Okay, well, since we got to see this baby blue vinyl, does that have anything to do with your tour vehicle? I believe at one point you might have had a station wagon that's probably a similar color to that. Is that right?
It was exactly that color,
Her
pretty
name was
much.
Bluebell.
So that doesn't have anything to do with why the vinyl is that color, I would imagine.
No, I think Joe might have picked it, the color.
I
Okay.
think maybe you're right, but maybe in some like larger cosmic sense, he he knew to
Okay.
pick light blue.
Well,
I
it's
would li
water, it's a ship and water is blue. So my guess is maybe that was why, but it's such a beautiful blue. It's really beautiful.
So this record is a compilation, as we mentioned, from songs from your previous releases. My first question would be, why are we calling this Salt? Is there a reason that you chose this name for this compilation?
Hmm. It's elemental, I guess. Salt is you know, good, bad, salt in the wound, tears. I think aren't isn't our body something like 90 something percent salt water or
Hmm.
something? Um, so it's the ocean, obviously. So it just resonated with us. Blood, sweat, and tears.
We had I was looking at some old old stuff from the band recently, and I found this little scrap of paper that must have been from really early on, and it we had written down all of our songs, like when you're starting out, and it's like, do we have enough songs to do an encore? That kind of thing.
Okay.
Down every single song, and I'd forgotten we had a song. One of Judy's songs was called Salt.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
which
I think I
is sort of
remembered that.
lost to
Yeah,
it's
yes, lost.
I think it was in waltz time,
Yeah,
but yeah, it's lost. But yeah, that's so we did have a song called Salt
and we love
for
the
the
beach,
same
we love the
reasons.
ocean,
Yeah, the ocean. We're sort of obsessed with the ocean.
both of us.
It's very
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Well, just yeah, living on the coast and living in New England, it's sort of part of the lore and the history and where you go to walk and swim. So yeah, it's very important to us.
And it is for us too. We're both on the West Coast, then we have the two of you on the East Coast. And I do want to ask a question before we move any further about the art on this compilation, because you did mention the boat and how it's sort of, just everyday life. Particular artwork that is on the album and CD cover. Uh, can you talk to us a little bit more about how this came up and selected to be part of this album?
Yeah, well, we there was a period when we were kind of putting the whole project together when Judy and I were both looking at images and sort of trying to figure out what we wanted. And there was a time when we were looking at some old sheet music, and we liked these images of kind of like storms and things like that. And then um, we got the idea to contact our old friend Tony Millionaire, who we knew from the I knew from art school, and Judy knew from we both knew from like the band world. Um, and we love his drawings, and so he was willing to do the cover. And I think we just told him like we were thinking about like a ship in a storm. We wanted a moon. We wanted, um, just a sort of something that really kind of spoke to New England. Um, and then he did this drawing of us from a photo as well, which is on the back cover.
Wait, so this is an original piece that was made specifically for this release?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Oh, that's
You
fantastic.
see the Salem 66 on the back of the ship.
Right.
It, ugh, trying to reach it. It's, see, the band name is
Yeah.
there.
And then
So yeah, we could say we got our name from an old four-masted schooner.
Is that what
Um,
that is? It's a four-masted schooner? Huh.
one, two, three. No, it's a five-masted schooner.
there you go. Yes. I'm looking at it online, but it's so much more impressive being held up. The artwork is just it's magnificent. It's really
It really is.
Yeah, we
spectacular.
love it. We really love it.
Yeah, I really want a poster of it.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
Soraya, I was gonna be upset if you had a copy that you were sitting there like on top of your Mac that
not yet, not yet, but
Not
it is for those listening. Salt is being released. It has an official release date of June the 6th. But the if you pre-order, it is expected to ship on or around May 30th. So get it now. And also the benefit is the LP has not only is it numbered, but signed and the CD as well. So
I
there are
think
some benefits.
CD, just the CD is signed,
Okay, that
but
was
the
my
LP is numbered.
Yeah, it is
yes.
numbered.
So big.
That was my mistake. I apologize. Yes.
Yeah,
But still, they want it.
it
Everybody wants it. I want
is the number.
You didn't get number one or number two, Judy.
it.
Not
Oh,
even
I'm having
close.
freezing up.
Well, I'm hoping that's because the ones I got 527, maybe the rest were shipped for pre-orders. That would
Let
be,
we'll work in on that premise. Okay, so now we have to ask these tracks, how did you decide that these were going to be the ones culled together to be part of this compilation? And why is it a compilation?
well, they weren't gonna re-release every album. So we kind of, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a physical artifact, you know, it wouldn't, if he just put everything, Joe just put everything up on streaming, it wouldn't be as exciting
It's
because
true. It's true.
um it was
They
really hard
started out.
picking the songs. What?
Oh, I was just going to say that the plan early on was to re-release all of the vinyl on vinyl, because they're not available anymore.
Everything's out of print now.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so yeah, it started out as it was going to be streaming and the vinyl re-release, and then the pandemic and the vinyl shortage
Oh,
and all of that started happening, so it got kind of trimmed down to a compilation. And then we were faced with the prospect of choosing the songs, as Judy
I'm
was
very
saying.
curious about that process.
That was hard. It was really hard. We had like this big Google spreadsheet that we kept like losing the link to, and like we wrote down the times of all the songs because what is it, like 44 minutes or something? Did we just lose Soraya?
Yeah, I think so. She'll probably jump back. That happened once before.
Okay.
Oh, there she is.
Oh, there
Uh,
she is.
You're back.
She's- Okay.
So you were writing down the times for each of the
Yeah,
songs?
so we knew that I think Joe gave us Joe being Joe Steinhardt at Don Giovanni gave us a like a maximum time for
Okay.
what an album could be. So we were like, okay, if we get a longer one here, we need a shorter one there, and kind of adding them all up. But it was really hard. I think we just kind of ultimately we wanted to have some representation across all of the years. We wanted to have um, a few of the things that people might not have, like the recording of Across the Sea from the 7-inch, which
Oh,
not many people have,
that's a great
and
song,
then
by the way.
find our
I love
like,
Across the Sea.
oh, thank you. So we just kind of picked some of our favorites and the songs that felt sort of like they spoke of the band the most.
I have to mention my I have four personal favorite songs, and three of them made it: Across the Sea, Playground, and Secret. I love Secret. I think that's a great song. That chorus on there is a great. But I'm just curious, was Holiday on the list at all before? Was that on the short list or something that
I
wasn't
don't think
considered?
so.
That's
Uh,
such a great song, Judy. I love that song.
well, we have, what do we have? How many albums? Four albums in
Four
an EP?
albums. And the EP.
Yeah, so, we basically could pick 10 songs from five records. So, I have regrets as well. You know, it was very hard to pick them, and we wanted something kind of chronological, like from beginning to end, faster, slower, whatever. But uh, I to this day, when I got it today, I popped the CD in, and I'm totally happy with it. But if I were to pick 10 songs today, I might pick 10 different songs. I'm sad that from my songs that I like Water Watchdog a
Oh,
lot and 8 Ball. And those are two songs that, so it's not perfect.
yeah. And with only 10 songs pulling out of the catalog that you've had, I'm sure every one of us Salem 66 fans would have different picks, but I'm glad
Yeah.
that three of my four favorites made it, so I'll just say that.
Oh, good. Good.
But you mentioned the fact that it's sequenced chronologically, and thank you so much for doing that because it drives me crazy when bands will put out a release and it's all over the place. I'm really glad and thankful that you guys,
Oh, good.
relatively speaking, right? So each, at least songs represented from each particular album is sequentially. So I appreciate that because you can hear the development as the band playing. I think initially you guys, it sounded like you had like a I mean, you're often compared to REM, whatever. The more jangly kind of sound, it's generic, but then it gets heavier, I think, and the songs develop more mature as you go along. And that plays out nicely, I feel like, on the compilation as
Yeah,
it,
I was a little afraid, like opening with an early song because, I thought, oh, it's not as sure-footed as later songs because for obvious reasons. And I was a little nervous about that, so I'm happy to hear you say that you appreciate the sequencing
no,
because I was a little nervous.
yeah, and Red Barn is a great opener, by the way.
Oh, good. I'm
It's a
glad.
great way to start it. So I'm glad that you did it. I have another personal question for me. I know that two of your guys is not personal, but something that I connect to personally, I should say. Two of the albums that you guys did, the middle two, you recorded out here on the West Coast, at a studio that I recorded at Radio Tokyo with
Oh,
Ethan
wow.
James. Yeah, I was in a band called White Glove Test. We recorded our first album, Look, with Ethan James in Venice at the little house, Radio Tokyo.
Yeah.
I know that it has nothing to do with this particular release, the compilation, other than there are representatives from there. Can you tell me a little bit about your experiences recording at Radio Tokyo?
It was great. Ethan is such a he's a pro and he's a character,
Yeah.
you know. So it was real, and plus for us to be in California, Venice Beach was, it's kind of magical. Um, so he,
We apartment on the boardwalk.
what?
Just that we rented an apartment on the right on the boardwalk.
On Venice Beach right there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
amazing.
wow.
Like amazing that we were able to do that. I mean, I'm sure that it was right next to a sort of a flop house, and
Okay.
Yeah.
we it was
A lot of
two rooms.
drug deals going on at night in our front doorway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
our,
yeah,
our
we were
roommate.
sort of fully immersed.
Go ahead.
No, I just said we were fully immersed,
Yeah,
in the place. And we went to Ethan's house a few times, I think. Saw he had a collection of sort of Japanese stuff. And he was just an interesting guy. I still can't get over that he was in Blue Cheer. You know?
Yeah, that's amazing. So it was Frequency and Urgency and Natural Disasters and Natural Treasures that were both recorded at Radio Tokyo, right? Do you think you did those two? And I figured you must have had a good time because you came back a second time, so that must have been a positive experience on the first one.
Yeah, I
it
mean, I
was
think
really.
we were somewhat inexperienced in the studio, so, you know, I don't know how critical we were of anybody,
Yeah,
really, but
I can
we
relate to
did
that.
enjoy
Yeah.
It was
working.
really fun for us to be out of town too. Like we just loved being away for the experience, and sort of not going home to our homes and our you know regular lives at night.
And you
It
guys
was
toured extensively, so you were out here on the West Coast. I know unfortunately I was never able to see you guys, but I have had friends that got to see you multiple times out here. So it's not like you were unfamiliar with the West Coast.
Yeah, we would
we
stay
loved
out
it.
there a lot. Yeah, we loved it. I love LA. I love LA.
I have two more questions, Soraya. I don't know if you wanted to add in later. Oh, we lost her again. She must have a bad connection. But I wanted to ask you about the labels, the record labels. So Homestead was I pretty much collected anything that was on Homestead. So I first wanted to ask about that and then how you ended up on Don Giovanni. So can you tell me a little bit about the Homestead years, which is pretty much your entire recorded career was with Homestead, right? I mean, you guys basically did the whole 80s, pretty much from almost the beginning of the 80s till the end of it. That you owned that decade. So
Like us and
Homes
Ronald Reagan administration.
Yeah, yep.
It meant
Unfortunately.
to me when we were this is a slight tangent here, but when Judy and I both kind of like took a long time to write some notes for
Oh, okay.
the compilation, and it had never occurred to me, like looking back at that time, like this is the Reagan. I mean, these are the Reagan years. And if you think about like the music scene and where did it come from and where were we all at, and I mean, it. I had never. It sounds ridiculous, but I never thought about it in that context, like in a sort of historical context outside of the music world.
Mm.
But
It was just life
yeah,
for
like
us
just
as we
sort
were
of
going through it, right?
right,
Yeah.
right,
But
yeah,
I remember when we'd go to Canada, we always, people would want to like kind of argue with us about, you know, politics, and we didn't like Reagan, so it's sort of like similar to now, if you're not people are mad at the United States, but half of us don't like the guy, or more than that. But back then, you'd go to Canada and everybody'd start yelling at you about Reagan. Like, I don't like him either.
Yeah. Join the boat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the record label, so we started playing in New York really early on. Um, and so Homestead was just starting up, and there was a guy called Sam Berger who was sort of tasked with scouting out some bands for the label. Um, and he came to a show and he really liked us. So we were really, it was, it just kind of fell in our laps in a way. It was
Wow.
great. Um,
You weren't sending out demos to labels or that kind of thing?
Not at that point.
Okay.
no, no, I mean, it was so early. It was like 1983 at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, I
So,
think we were doing the EP anyway,
mm,
weren't we? Like we were recording stuff before we knew we would put it out on Homestead.
Oh,
well, I think we made some radio tapes. So there was this whole
Okay.
thing that there was all this college radio in the Boston area, of course, and there was this tradition that I have heard was kind of specific to Boston, which does I don't quite understand, but where bands would go in the studio and make tapes,
Mhm.
record songs and then bring them into the radio stations that which would then play them. I mean, the college radio stations all had local shows and sort of punk rock new wave um, shows and really really good ones. And so there was a lot of local music that actually got played, which I imagine must have been the case in other at the college radio stations like all around the
We had
country.
so many colleges. Maybe
Yeah.
that was why.
that's where I heard a lot of the music that I ended up enjoying was from college radio at the time. And I think your record, because of Dutch India, I think, is that what it's called? Dutch India Distribution?
Yeah.
Dutch East.
Dutch East India was everywhere. I mean, I could find Salem 66 records at any record store. Soraya knows this, but and it's always been this way since I was a child, whenever I go into a record store, or sorry, whenever I travel, instead of my souvenirs are records. So I can tell, I can tell and remember where I was traveling when I pull out some of these records. And
Uh,
so, oh, Ronnie's going to be joining us here shortly. So, hey, Ronnie.
Yes.
Hang on.
But I did want to ask you, how did you guys end up on Don Giovanni Records for this compilation? I don't know too much about the label other than I know you guys mentioned Joe owned it, and I got a couple Waxahachie records and I think a Malblum a couple records. But how did you guys end up connecting with them?
Well, that was kind of a sort of flukish too. We had been sort of like tentatively poking around, kind of asking. I mean, I had been like completely not paying attention to the music business for all these decades, so I wasn't really aware of like who were the labels, who to talk to, and but friends suggested a few people, and so we were just sort of putting some feelers out, and then um, our a band that we used to play with, some old friends of ours from Boston, a band called Vitamin, um, had a record put out by Don Giovanni. And
Oh, okay, okay.
I saw that on Facebook, and our friend Margie Politzer, who was in that band, lives in Philadelphia, and she knew Joe. And so I
I
said,
think she met him because of the pandemic, like
Oh,
people
wow.
sitting on their front porches. And she had a friend who lived next door to Joe or something. And she met Joe, I think, because of like that kind of pandemic socializing
And
with
Jeff
it.
and Soraya, there's a Paisley connection for you there with Vitamin. By the way, I'm sorry I'm late, you guys.
Oh,
Hey, Ronnie.
There's a Paisley connection for you with Vitamin because Jason Shapiro was in Vitamin.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Thank you.
Sorry, go carry on. I'm sorry I'm late.
No,
Thank you for
that's
pulling that
great.
I
together.
thought it was at 6. Yeah, anyway. Okay. Go ahead, Beth. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think that was
Yeah.
it. Well, so we had a phone call with Joe Steinhardt, and we just kind of hit it off, and we liked we liked that it's a really eclectic label. It just sort of felt like kind of a good spot for us. And we liked his attitude, so we just decided to do that kind of.
No, and by the looks of it, they care about graphics and stuff. Like I haven't seen it obviously yet, but the photos, like the packaging looks amazing, which is important to me.
Look,
oh,
Ronnie.
There
it's
we
totally,
go.
we already did this, but yeah.
I know. I'm sorry. See, I don't know what you've done or not done. Wow.
It's
Look
a
at that.
gatefold, Ronnie.
Oh, wow.
And the
Amazing.
vinyl is beautiful,
Oh,
Blue vinyl.
I'm
gorgeous.
so happy. You guys must be so happy.
Oh, it's
We just
beautiful.
got the records today, so
Yeah, we just
Wow.
got
yeah,
these in the mail today.
And then the
Well,
big Bandcamp article, like what a day. This is
yeah,
that's
really fantastic. That was lovely,
yeah.
and then of course the big thing for us was that the music was all going to be available on streaming.
Yeah.
mhm.
Um, and that's sort of what we just thought initially. That was all we had like hoped for, because I think with the records being unavailable, and people would sometimes get in touch and say, oh, are you ever going to re-release? And I know I sort of got the idea that it just seemed like I felt like I didn't want our music to be just kind of a collector's item kind of thing. Like, we were there, and
Yeah.
so was everybody else. But if you happen to notice this, you might have bought that, and maybe a few people would have the records. I really like the idea of having it available for people who wanted to kind of discover more about that time or whatever. Um, so then, yeah, it's really, really thrilling. So that all came out. That's all available. That came out earlier this month. And actually, we were talking about some of the early recordings. There's going to be a few songs that weren't released on any records that will come out, I think, really soon. I think maybe next week, a
Ooh.
couple of early songs. So that's kind of fun.
So
They're
one,
from the EP era.
Mhm.
okay.
Okay. Yeah.
All of them are even pre-EP,
Before
maybe
that,
So
pre-EP. So they're very kind of, I don't know if they're different, but they're, early, and we chose not to use them.
so the
So
EP could have been a full length album.
I
You
guess if we
you
had
recorded
chose, yeah.
yeah.
yeah, I'm not sure why it was an EP.
Sounds like one of those record company decisions, even on Homestead, right? Like EPs were big in the early 80s.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So
maybe
we'll
it was.
introduce the band with an EP and then the follow-up. Go ahead, Jeff. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, Ronnie, that's one of my favorite formats, and I think it's
That's
because
right.
of my attention span. And if you get me started listing, I'll list like 2 dozen EPs that I think are fantastic, including the self-titled Salem 66 record. But I did want to mention real briefly, before we let you guys go, that you were included on this Strum and Thumb um, compilation, Thrum, sorry, which is a fantastic release. And I really love this record. There's so many good songs on here, and I'm glad that you guys were included as part of it. Did this help like stir up anything
Oh,
when
it totally, I think it kicked off the whole thing, that people, I think someone interviewed us, and the last line of the interview was something like, maybe their time has come. They're being exhumed. But it was that, and Beth, talked to Margie or talked to maybe some other labels, but it definitely and it was the first song that was ever streaming, you know,
Mm,
7 steps down, like we've
yeah.
arrived, we're streaming.
And you're in great company on this record too, as well. I mean, almost every
Yeah,
song on here is fantastic.
Yeah.
For anybody that doesn't have the collection, it's a great collection. It's got a great book. You guys both have quotes um in the book, and it's like a pretty major book.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like a little pamphlet. It's
Hmm.
I don't know how many pages on there, but it's multiple
yeah,
pages.
I was amazed by that.
Two
It's a
record set. Yep.
well,
It's a
it's like
heavy package.
yeah, it's like the record coming out. It's a beautiful object. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, your music is timeless. I've listened to all the records again recently, and the production isn't dated really or anything. Like, it's especially like a lot of late 80s stuff is. And
I know the replacements, it's sort of heartbreaking, some of that stuff. But
right.
Hmm.
that one, Tim just came to mind. But
Oh,
One thing I also wanted
oh,
to mention, Ronnie, you mentioned the Bandcamp article, but also in March, there was an article in Rolling Stone about this
that's
as
right.
well.
That's right.
So the voice is traveling. And so uh what was it? The article ending with maybe their time has come. Uh the word is spreading, and I like that.
Yeah, that was just astonishing. I mean, I um that yeah, I mean we were just like kind of astonished by that
the Rolling Stone.
yeah, I mean
Yeah.
the idea that like a time could come, and
Yeah.
it's just really nice.
No, no, absolutely. And they do that because they want to do that, right? It's not like Don Giovanni, you know, push Rolling Stone to
Or like
do
pay
that. So it's
someone, yeah,
beautiful. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The old pale.
as far
Um,
as we know. Yeah.
right. Now, is there, excuse me if you covered any of this. Are you guys doing a reunion show of any sorts or no?
No,
No?
no.
Okay. Sure. Did you guys quit playing music after the band ended? Did you, respectively? Did you?
I I did eventually. I auditioned for a couple of bands that didn't work out.
Mm,
Probably a good thing in retrospect.
yeah.
But I tried, I made some demo tapes. I talked to a few people, but I just really didn't want to. It was really hard for me to imagine playing with other people and working in a different way
Yeah.
because we just sort of had our way of working together through all the iterations of Salem 66, like all the band members.
Yes.
I just couldn't imagine and I suppose, yeah, I did play with a few people, which I had sort of forgotten about, but nothing ever went really well. Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
for me, I went on and did other things, and I have been playing a bit lately, which has been really fun.
Yeah.
But
No thoughts of making solo records after the band? Judy, you too? Like,
No, yeah, no, uh I, yeah, it's kind of hard to remember.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
But I felt like I did this is like kind of a little what do you call it, TMI. No, I sort of barely graduated from high school, and I sort of felt like I had to prove a point. I basically went to college after the band to prove that I could,
Hmm.
to myself, I guess.
Yeah.
So I did that. I started cooking in restaurants and was going to school. And then I ended up marrying the same man that I was involved with then. David Minahan, who's
Hmm.
also a musician. We're still married. We have
Great.
kids, grandkids, and so it just, kind of you hopscotch, you do one thing to another, and
Yeah.
it was not. And I still played a little at home. I mostly transitioned to writing rather than playing, and I still really like writing. I love writing. It's that thing that I go into the zone, sort of like songwriting
Yeah.
without the song.
No, no, I get it. Like my bandmate passed away, and people ask, "I'm going to be in another band," and I'm not. Just because that was my band, and it sounds like it's the same with Salem '66. You guys had the perfect band
Yeah,
for each other. Yeah.
because it was like even when we were auditioning drummers in the beginning, people would come in who, were really nice people and really good players, but I think we just felt like we were on our own planet and these people didn't quite seem like they'd be able to breathe the air there or something. And then Susan had never played and she came, but we just kind of knew like, oh yeah, this is our tribe here.
Yeah.
And so, maybe it was imagining going through that again and it feeling wrong or I don't know.
Yeah, I saw you open for Robin Hitchcock in Los Angeles in
Oh,
'86. I was there on vacation. I hadn't moved there yet. I'm originally from Texas. And I was so happy. I'm like, oh my God, Salem '66 and Robin Hitchcock. And you guys have aged a lot better for me than his music. I still like him, don't get me wrong.
Yes.
But yeah,
where
was that
was the show?
Variety Arts Center in Los Angeles?
Yeah.
Oh,
He was so mad at us. We
oh, we ate his
got
deli.
the dressing room stuff and we ate his deli platter. He was pissed.
What
He
They
didn't get to
yelled
throw
at
it.
us.
do you remember what it was? Like what kind of sandwiches or whatever? What does
I
Robin Hitchcock get on his rider in 1986?
Yeah,
He
red
yelled
M&Ms. Yeah.
at the bologna, like it wasn't
Yeah,
great. It wasn't anything great. So
right. Something you're shocked that he was mad about.
to
Yeah.
eat.
Was that a one-off or were you on tour with him?
Just a one-off.
Okay.
We played with him in Cambridge, didn't we? At Jonathan Swift's. So I think we played with him more than once, but we didn't tour with
I,
him.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I remember Jonathan Swift's. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Well, yeah. So I just lucked into seeing that show. So
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
yeah, because I don't. Maybe you made it to Texas later. I'm trying to remember. Did you ever make it to Texas?
Oh yeah, we were in Austin.
But
Yeah, we
Houston?
played Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was trying to remember. Yeah, I think I did see you later after that, later '80s in Houston. Okay. Okay. Are Susan still around? Are you still friends?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she teaches at Bard.
She's an
Ah,
art historian.
Yeah,
wow.
she's sort of ensconced at Bard. And
And that was why she left the band was to because she wanted to spend more time painting and then she went to she had always been a painter and then she went to the museum school in Boston, which was to paint.
she
And
got her PhD at Harvard.
Oh, wow.
See college graduates in this
She's
band.
a
Amazing.
college graduate.
Now that changes often that'll change the dynamic of a band when you lose a key member like that. Did it for you?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Different. Yeah, that was kind of another band, but
Yeah. And also, yeah, were you guys having other labels trying to did we talk about Homestead, Jeff and Soraya?
A little bit, yes.
A little bit. Gerard, look, I love Gerard. He gets a bad rap though. Were you guys on good terms with Gerard? Was he
oh yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, we
yeah,
were always great
we're
friends.
friends.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he tells it like it is. So you're gonna get a bad some people you're gonna rub the wrong way doing that. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Was he
Yeah,
the one that
luckily
signed
he
you?
liked us, I guess.
Was he the one that signed you?
No, he inherited us from Sam Berger, I think.
Okay.
But he did like us, so it all worked out.
Okay.
No
Did
one
those
got their feelings hurt.
did
Yeah.
those other Boston labels of the day try to sign you, like Throbbing Lobster and Ace of Hearts?
No, because we signed to Homestead when I don't think we'd even been around like a year or something. So no, our dance card was full immediately. I don't,
Nice.
yeah, I don't know. No one asked, but
So when Don Giovanni, uh, this idea make this compilation came about, did you guys reach out to any of the other former members? I mean, Salem 66, pretty much you two for the most part, but you worked with several different musicians along the way. Did you reach out to others about the project?
Yeah. Yeah. So we're in touch with most everyone. Yeah. So they knew it was coming out.
Okay. Yeah.
We didn't like ask for like feedback about
Yes.
what songs to include or anything like that. I think we figured amongst ourselves it was going to be hard enough to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ronnie, before you joined, I was asking about the sequence, and I'm very appreciative
Oh,
that the band did it in chronological order because I have an issue when somebody puts out something, and I get it. I get why they do it. You might want the best song, in the first couple.
yeah.
But I mean, you can't go wrong with Salem 66. But I was asking about how they went about picking songs. So we got to learn a little bit about that. But I was just mentioning that three of my four favorite Salem 66 songs made it. Holiday wasn't considered, but I'm okay with that since at least three of them. And I know you, as a huge Salem 66 fan, I'm sure that there are songs that you wish might have made it that didn't. That's going to be the case for all of us fans. But I think we're
Well,
all very happy with what ended up on this compilation for sure.
yeah, look, if you're asking me, I'm happy, but I'm happiest with a box set of all the albums and all every not leaving anything out. That's that's my choice. Any paring down to 10 songs is going to be a
um,
little rough, but I get it. Yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah, Jeff's big on sequencing, so I'm sure he opened with that question.
yeah, well, we just did it chronologically, so to me it does sound a little odd, but
Right.
it's
Which
fine.
yeah, I like the chronological sequencing too. But yeah, it can't help but sound odd, right? I mean, you
Yeah.
but oh well, thanks for hanging around, you guys.
Thank you.
I
Thank
don't want to keep you
you.
too late. Yeah, yeah. So
Thank you.
yeah,
We're
sorry. Yeah, sorry I'm late, and it's an honor to meet you too. I'm
Well, thank you.
a big
Likewise.
fan. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm nervous.
Thank
Yeah, 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 yeah.
you.
So yeah,
And
and
it,
your husband Jody, I'm a big Neighborhoods fan too. So
Oh,
yep, yep.
awesome. Yeah, he'll
Well,
probably walk through the door soon.
And we're
yeah,
very excited that we got to get a sneak peek of the gatefold.
yes.
I didn't realize that it was going to be a gatefold, so we're very excited about
Oh,
it.
I know,
Uh,
reminds us all of our youth. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know. But I wanted to say one other thing just really quickly. I've been listening to your podcast and it just really brought me back to how to that scene. And like we played a lot of shows with the 3 o'clock.
Oh.
Um and we had such a good time and that scene was just so incredible and we sort of felt at home, with that sort of group of bands. We played a lot of shows with Green on Red. We played with the Long Riders. I don't think we ever played with Dream Syndicate, but um, we just it was like a scene that we felt kind of we fit in with a bit in a way that we kind of didn't feel in Boston
Oh.
in my memory. Um, and that just kind of struck me listening, just sort of looking back and kind of remembering it just sort of how it's so funny how these different scenes crop up and influences spread. So it has been really fun for me listening to your conversations.
Well, remember how different cities would become like the in vogue town?
Yep.
Like I think it was Athens and then
Mhm.
Minneapolis, then Boston, then LA, then so that doesn't happen anymore. Like,
No.
because of music, that there's not that as much of a live music scene anymore.
Yeah. Well, we could go on for another hour about this,
Oh,
Judy. Yeah. No, no. Well, with the internet, everything's open. I mean,
yeah, it's just so different.
yeah, and it's sad. It's sad.
It's
There's not
not
a live music
visceral.
scene. Yeah,
Right.
no. And I'm not like an old guy saying this. Yeah, there's no, it's not like it used to be, right? There was a ton
Yeah,
of clubs to
there's
play. And like you're saying, Beth, you'd play with all those bands. I mean, on different bills. I mean, the Salem 66 flyer collection must be amazing. Like there must be just
we don't
wonderful.
have that many.
Well, but just just so
But
people
yeah,
saw
yeah,
the
no,
shows that you played. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
I'm sure Beth will post some soon.
Yeah. Just legendary pairings that like people would freak out about. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, you guys are lucky. Did you sorry, did you own your own van? What did you tour in?
we did.
You did? Yeah. Who had the
I
most
forget. I
luggage?
think it was a Ford.
Okay.
Was it a Ford? I don't even remember. We had several. We
Who had the
went
most
from a
luggage?
U-Haul to a station wagon
Oh,
to
U-Haul.
another van.
Yeah.
Right.
Judy was awesome with the U-Haul. I never drove,
Yeah.
but Judy and Susan could back up the U-Haul and
Yes.
back nice.
I was I was gonna say that's a hard part. It sounds like, oh, we'll get a trailer, it'll be great. And then you got to deal with that, right? And then
Well, I have a
parking.
boat now, and my U-Haul training came in very handy backing
Wow.
the boat trailer into the water.
See, you can learn stuff on tour,
Yep.
kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
Valuable life skills.
It
Yeah.
was a life skill. I'm using it today.
Wow. Judy's got a boat, so we're all gonna go there and go out on your boat
You
one
know what
day.
it's named? I'm very proud. David came up with the name, but it's witchcraft.
Oh,
Ooh.
I like it.
Yes. Nice pun in there for the craft.
Yeah.
Yes. Ah.
very cool. Tying
All right.
back to the
Salem
cover of Salt.
reference.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, we wanted to thank you guys so much for coming on the show. We're really excited for this compilation. Congratulations to you both. I'm sad that there's not a tour that's going to happen to promote it, but I'll take the compilation, and it's on that beautiful blue vinyl, and this beautiful gatefold as well as CD. I think probably Bandcamp might be one of the best, easiest ways to get it, but
Yeah.
I think it's available in a lot of different places when I started looking, right, Soraya? We were like,
Yes. And also dongiovannirecords.com. And once again, the LP is hand numbered and the CD is signed.
yes.
So, and they're available for pre-order, and there's also merch, t-shirts also on the Don Giovanni page. So, you can stock up.
This is
And
pretty much the band back together. Let's face it. I'm sorry, even though you're not playing, you got merch.
there you go, got merch.
T-shirts. Yep.
You can do fly-ins now, you guys. You don't have to get in a van and go cross country. You fly across the country. You do LA. You do. I'll book this for you. We'll talk later.
You can play drums. Yeah.
Yeah. You borrow yeah. It
Perfect.
can be done.
Perfect.
All right, you two. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Judy.
so
Thank you,
much.
Beth. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.
So see, Jeff, if you get your wish and have holiday, Judy can then go back and pick her songs, Water Watchdog and April.
Oh yeah, because those were two that she wishes made the mix.
She said, now that I think about it, if I were to go back and pick again, I would have picked those.
Like
But
it's 10 songs. It's an impossible task. I mean,
Impossible, yeah.
I mean,
It is.
we're trying not to put this on me, but we're putting together a best of the muffs thing, and it's tough.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. So
yeah.
that's a different subject.
No, it's the same subject, just a different band.
Sorry, I'm late. You got. I don't know why I thought it was six, but I thought it was
Don't
six.
worry about it.
Yeah,
You're here and you were able to ask your questions and see them and
I would have been so upset. I don't have questions. You know that, you guys. I go
but
over the
you got the
river.
Robin Hitchcock anecdote out of them.
Right.
That
I
was
ride the
great.
river. I ride the river and just chime in. You know.
How great was that they pissed off Robin Hitchcock by eating
By
his
eating his
bologna?
deli platter.
Same old story, but you wouldn't expect that it would be Salem '66,
There you go.
or him getting mad. You know, who ate this? Like, sorry, I can't do an accent, but yeah,
I love it. That was a great story.
yeah,
But I like how Beth said, and he was pissed.
yes, sure. After singing about insects all night, and then coming, sandwiches are gone. Jesus.
You know, one of the things that I'm struck by, I'm just going back through my notes, is how Judy said that this album, it's a beautiful object.
It is.
And you know, when we think, I think the three of us have said at some point today, you know, this band is also that beautiful object. It's really a band that we hold really near and dear. And Ronnie, I think you said it too. Like the production doesn't sound dated. It's good and good. It's a good and solid product. And then just to hear them talk about it, like I started feeling, you know, like they're happy about this, we're happy about it. And then you have this very special album CD coming out, and there's just a lot of good around this project.
Agreed. And I would say, and you're absolutely right, Ronnie. I mean, it holds up. It doesn't sound dated at all. But I will also say nobody makes music like that. I mean, I don't even know if anybody made music like Salem 66 at the time, but there's nothing like that you hear that's contemporary. But yeah, it does totally hold up.
No. They're high, even though using guitars and loud ones and all that stuff. They're high. They're very original. Like their sound and with the two songwriters, you know, often you can tell there's two songwriters. They fit perfectly together. Um, Judy and Beth. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah,
their
I
songs,
agree.
and they're generally interspersing on the records, and you know, there's no let up or anything, and yeah, after I mean, their last record came out 35 years ago. I mean, which is unbelievable that just came out of my mouth, right?
right.
35 years, and they must feel the same way. I mean, it's just astounding. But yeah, I just I don't know. I love them so much when they're around, and yeah, just I was God, thank God they're streaming again. That's how I because my records are packed up. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I guess I did notice at the bottom of each one on Spotify says Don Giovanni copyright.
Yeah,
So
yep.
Yeah.
yep. So
And did you also notice, Ronnie, that they all came out on January 1st?
Hmm.
The years changed. The years are accurate for each
oh,
of
I
them.
didn't
January
notice that.
1st.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't notice that. Oh, that's
So
funny.
regardless of when they came out during the 80s, yeah, on the streaming services, they've just rounded to the
That's
January
funny.
1st of the right
And,
year.
Why not?
and I came in right in time to tie it in with the Paisley there.
Boom.
Yes,
Jason
yes,
Shapiro. Okay.
yes.
I
Great
want that
Jason
that
Shapiro.
vitamin thing's out of print. I want that CD if anyone's got one.
Yeah. So
All right,
Jason,
folks, you know,
yeah.
Ronnie
Yeah,
Barnett, care of Paisley Stage Raspberry and Rhyme.
there you go.
And
Yeah,
look,
Oh.
so you got Beth to even talk about some of the shows that she played with
Mhm.
and how she felt about the band and their connection with the Paisley Underground. As
Right.
far as a
that's right.
kinship, right?
That's right.
That kinship that's there.
That to me was a very happy surprise to hear. Because there was an article I was reading, I think it was the Bandcamp article, and something I found interesting because it creates a parallel, right? Of that in Boston there was this kind of loft culture where these bands would lived in lofts and would invite each other over to play, like in these spaces, these shared spaces, and it reminds me of how we've talked about so many different places in LA for Paisley Underground. I mean, not only the church, but you know, that we've talked about often. But there are these shared spaces where these bands would come together and commune and play music and things like that. And I found it really poignant that Beth said we felt like we fit in with this scene more so than in Boston. And that to me was a surprise.
Agreed.
I
Yeah,
will say that was a surprise for me.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, I mean that. Well, back then, I mean, Judy mentioned the big scenes of the day, but every
Right.
every every town had its scene like that, right? To some degree.
Yeah.
But then some bands are nicer than others. Some bands are want to hang out, some don't, and some have barbecues. And don't mention the Catalina trip, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, some bands they well, Judy's married to David Minahan from the Neighborhoods. I mean, for
Hmm.
40 whatever years. I mean,
Ronnie, what label were the Neighborhoods on? Were they
they're
Enigma or
they run a
Restless
few. They're around for a while. There is at least one on Enigma. Um,
or Restless? One of the two.
um, yeah, one of the two. They were on like I think it was called Emergio Records. They had a record or
Okay.
two. You
Okay.
know, they're around during the '80s. In fact, they even have one Atlantic Records record that was produced by Brad Whitford, if I remember
Oh.
right.
Oh.
Yep, Brad Whitford from Aerosmith. Everyone.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So the Neighborhoods. No, David. He has a rich career. He filled in. He was the on the Replacements reunion. He was the other. He filled in that for Slim or whatever. He was the guy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
Tommy Keene was very pissed
Oh.
off about that. Yeah, I can say it now. Um,
Wow. So, well, that makes more sense now that Judy brought up Tim and how the recording of the Replacements, Tim
Yeah.
Records sounded. So,
I like the original mix. I mean, I
yeah.
like the new one too. But I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, no, no. Yeah. But it ties it all together. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
well,
Yeah. Yeah.
well, I'm glad you were able to join us. I knew that you would be extremely upset if this happened and you weren't on the call. So, thank you for chiming
Yes.
in.
I don't mean to be that guy. I'm like a Rob Lowe character in St. Elmo's Fire. Hard to. Um,
No, no, no. You
no,
came
no.
in right on time
Yeah.
and took it home. So it's
See, I could
all
have.
good.
No, and Jeff had called. I very easily could have not called you back, Jeff, because you didn't leave a message.
Yeah.
And just like, I'll see him at 6, whatever. And then at 6, it would have been.
Oh.
I would have had my what in my hand standing there.
Hey, but you did it. You made it.
We did
You
it. We
made
did
it.
it.
Yeah, yeah. No,
And
and I'm the one who pushed you guys into this, so I appreciate you doing that. Don't worry, I won't do that too often. You guys
you
should
didn't
podcast.
push us. We welcomed it because we both
Yeah,
love the band.
there'll be a point. Yeah, you two are going to be like, what are we going to tell him?
No, thank you for making that happen.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you so much for setting it in motion, Ronnie.
I
Like
know.
always.
Keep your record of only having one you didn't want to do or something like that. Oh, am I talking too much?
No, no, no.
Every Paisley Stage podcast has been one that you guys want to do. So, yeah.
Yep.
Except one.
Oh my gosh. I'm just gonna end it there. Mi gente, agrubiar.
Groove on, Paisley people.
Let's do this.
Nice.
Tim just came to mind, but
We have like less than a minute left, and I know Ronnie, you probably have a couple questions that you weren't able to. Are you guys able? Do you have a little bit more time? Can you log
sure.
back into the link? The link we'll get shut off, and because we don't have a professional thing. But if we use the same link, we can come back and Ronnie, if you have any last minute questions, and we can wrap it up.
Sure.
Yeah,
Or for me,
so,
sure. Yeah, yeah.
The
Thank you.
same link.
Okay.
Same link.
Sorry
link.
again. Yeah, this thing's gonna
All
end
right.
suddenly any second.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll
It ends without warning.
exactly. It'll just whoop into the ether.
Okay.
And then we'll just click the link
We'll
like
meet
that.
in Montana.
Yes, let's do that. Yeah.
See, I like the way this is going.
This is where we talk about you, Judy.
Oh, I'll
You can hang out. We can have her hang out.
Why not?
Okay. All right.
bye.
Bye.